So the first thing that I'm seeing, it looks like mountains of energy coming towards me, or it's almost as if I am going through these mountains of energy. And when I say mountains, I mean like mountains covered in snow almost. It almost looked like the light is so bright and the snow, it looks like snow, but I don't think it is snow, is so bright that it's literally blinding to me, to even with my eyes closed, to move through these vast energies. And in the center, it feels like I'm at the center, and I do believe I'm surrounded by ice or icebergs or an icy energy. And in the center, there's a circle of the most beautiful, deep blue waters. And the waters are very, very clear. And I'm being told that the circle of icebergs or ice that's around it, or the land mass that's around it, or the light that is around this circle is actually filtering out anything that's toxic or negative for the marine life or all life that's in that circle. And so when I'm looking down, it's almost like looking at something so beautiful. It's like I can see all manners of sea creatures like encircling with me. They're all circling counterclockwise. They're not going clockwise. They're all circling counterclockwise. And then just as soon as I said that they're circling counterclockwise, they're going clockwise. And so it's like watching this happen, and I'm being told how very valuable, important the sea life is, or the sea creatures are. Especially for people to really, seems so simple for them to tell me this, but it just makes sense to me, to flow with their emotions, to flow with one another, to coexist with one another, and recognize that we all move together. We live together, we die together. We move together, we're still together. It's all of the oneness, and yet there is individuality, and there is also, don't want to use the word separateness, but that's the only thing they can glean from my brain at this time. Just talk about the unity with all creatures on this planet, that when they show up in mass, it's breathtaking. And yet, when they have flourished in mass, how sad that so much has been massacred in its massiveness. I don't know why they're using these words, but it doesn't feel comfortable for me to say this. But so I can tell that I'm still in my conscious mind, and I need to release that conscious mind so that I can allow them to speak as clearly as possible. But they were talking about the unnecessary thinning of the herds, the unnecessary thinning of the herds, that all things on this planet are meant to be in mass. So there's more than enough to go around. There's more than enough to be shared, and that we do need to be cognizant of our natural environments. And many humans on this planet live in man-made, created environments, which aren't necessarily a negative thing, but make sure that what you are surrounding yourself with that is created by man is beneficial to you. Be selective. There are many people on this planet that have to keep it basic. They need a roof over their head, a place to sleep, food to eat, clothes to keep them safe, protected, warm, cool. But there are these basic things, basic needs that all creatures on this planet need and are necessary. What's wonderful about humans is they have the ability to adapt to their environment and their circumstances. But everyone needs their own sacred space. And who are any of you to violate another creature's space unless that space is violating yours? Then, of course, you must come up with some form of strategy or coping mechanism to maintain your sacred space. But be aware of who you're allowing into your sacred space, your homes, your energy field, your thoughts, your heart. Be aware of what you are allowing to engage with you. There are many caustic situations around you. You choose whether you want to engage or not. Surely those who have stepped up to protect the innocent, to protect, do have great value. Even I myself have protection all around me. Many will seek me, and they can partake of this energy. They can partake of this wisdom. But I too have to be mindful of my sacred spaces. And what she saw is one of my sacred spaces on earth. It is a circle of waters that is not accessible to most of humanity. There are those who have seen it, but may not recognize how valuable this space is. In this circle are your dreams. Did you know the sea creatures assist you while you are dreaming? They assist you to flow with the energies necessary for you to experience many dimensions, many lifetimes, many experiences. If you have experienced an increase of nightmares and terrors, it is because the waters on this planet are becoming even more polluted, and yet there is the sacred space that is not violated by man. It is not violated by anything malicious. It is protected for you. The higher you go, the deeper you go, especially in your sleep, allows each one of you to evolve and recognize your true potential and talents and abilities. Who among you listening to this has literally flown through their dreams? You can fly. Your physical bodies are very sedimentary for a reason. But your minds and your hearts are not limited. This is why each of you will reach out to someone or something because you are drawn to its energy. Most of you are drawn by a physical attraction immediately. You are physically drawn to something that you will choose whether to invest your energy or whether to not expose your energy. It is easy for your hearts to focus on love and affection and communion and connection. It is easy for you to do this. You were and are created in love, regardless of the circumstances surrounding your conception. Your spirit, your soul, your heart was created with supreme love. And your heart, your mind, your spirit will search to communicate with love and affection that is similar to yours. But immediately, before you can discover this, the law of attraction is in play. Not everything you are attracted to is beneficial to you. Learn to discern this. Death is what many are curious about. It captures their attention. It makes individuals evaluate and take inventory of their connectedness to death. Yet in death, many are resurrected and find new life. For those of you who mourn deeply for love you connected to, that you cannot imagine yourself being without, that love is secure. You may not see it in its same form or experience it in its same form with your physical eyes, but your spiritual eyes, your memories, your knowing can recall it all to you. Use that which has comforted your heart, nurtured your heart, felt wonderful. Use that as your palette to create even more such memories in this lifetime. Don't give up. Suicide is very attractive to those who are depressed and desperate, alone and in pain. Suicide is rampant on this family of man. Yet you will also witness where there are even large mammals who may seem off course, but because of the pollutions in the water, the nightmares in the waters, are committing suicide. They no longer can tolerate the energy they have been surrounded with, and yet all souls who commit suicide do have someone who loves them very dearly, who wouldn't want them to take their own lives, to suffer. Those of you who have survived suicide, Never give up on the love that you have. For those you are missing, for it is a light that helps them to resurrect. All things resurrect. All things reach an illusion of ending. But I say unto you, I would not challenge your heart when it comes to loving who you love. For you love them as I love you. And I love them. And I do not want any of you to suffer needlessly. I will say this to you. You will all die a physical death. Death is a gift. But that doesn't mean the party is over. Ask yourselves, are you attending this party of life out of obligation? Or are you here to celebrate, as I do each and every one of you, even those of you who are naughty? I still love you. I cannot stop loving you. This does not mean you have permission to crash my party. And when I say crash, I mean those of you who go out of your way to be rude, disrespectful, greedy, and at times feel very entitled. When you walk in the forest, which we created, that forest was created for many purposes beyond humanity's need. It is not necessary to destroy and not replant, replenish, rejuvenate. Each of you take a moment and look at your sacred edifice, your body. How are you celebrating this body? Those who commit suicide haven't forgotten how to celebrate those they love. They have forgotten to celebrate that which they contribute. Sometimes just your presence, just your face Just your touch is what your life's purpose is. People who do and do good for others, they do appreciate the rewards of a beautiful smile of gratitude. Don't kill your smiles or your laughter. Do you know how much I enjoy comedians? Comedians have a way of looking at life that I have always seen, must have a sense of humor. There are times to be serious, and then there are times to laugh. And even in death, there can be laughter, especially in the aftermath, when family and friends, acquaintances gather in memory of a loved one. Oh, how I enjoy listening to the stories you all have to tell. In some of those stories, the deceased does not remember immediately. That is why each of you has archives of memories and will be called upon to speak of those memories, to help the soul, even the soul which commits suicide, to remember their value, to remember the laughter, to remember the peace, to remember the compassion, to remember your peculiar being. I have not created anyone, anything exactly the same. You may see two red robins. They are not exactly the same. You see, they have choice. They can choose to be as the others, or they can choose to be as they are. If you all would take a moment to hold one another and to be held, then I can also hold you. Immediately upon birth, an infant is held, swaddled, adored. Every feature of the child is examined closely in all its perfection. Do not believe as adults you are to be held less than an infant. This is a problem on this planet. Being held can be as simple as holding each other's hands. When life gets overwhelming, and it will, allow yourself to be held. You'll know who will step forward to do that for you. However, if at any time you are held by someone whose vibrations are offensive to yours, and you feel danger, do not allow yourself to be held that way. One moment like that can destroy a lifetime, can contribute to suicide and self-depreciation. Those of you who have held the innocent in your arms and have violated them, do not remain hidden or unseen. It is not a misdemeanor. And there are divine consequences to that type of interaction with others, whether with an individual or mass communities. You are held accountable. And those of you who have felt helpless because of those violations, you will find the strength within yourself to not allow it to happen again. If you cannot find that strength from those who had authority or who you trusted, then find that strength within yourself. It is not okay to violate others through touch. Touch is sacred. Touch can heal what science is unable to. It is the intention of that touch that draws me in. Call upon me at any time. Many of you will say, well, who are you? And who are we calling? You will decide that for yourself. But for those of you who recognize the magnificent empowerment that is available to you, then receive it in abundance. You can feed the hungry. You can heal the sick. You can give thirst a quench. There's so much that each of you can do. And if you cannot do it for the masses, do it for yourself. Take care of yourselves. Allow yourself opportunities to search and research all knowledge available that you are interested in. If you are interested in it, there is a reason. Whether it is profane or benevolent, there is a reason. You do serve a purpose. They say the number 5 is the number of change. Are there 5 things in your life right now that are ready for a change? 5 things. 1 thing emotionally, 2 things mentally, 3 things physically, 4 things spiritually, 5 things energetically. Something as simple as rearranging can change the energy in your sacred space. Don't discard individuals in your life who have been significant in your change. Welcome them in a manner which is comfortable for you. Allow yourselves to be in circles of sacred communion. We will end this transmission with one important thought. The circles of water surrounded by the mountains of white light, which very much look like icebergs. That location, if you focus on it, if you visualize the clear, dark blue waters, gently swirling, begin to see all the different sea creatures that are creating magnificent works of art with your subconscious minds. If you will think of this space and dive in, your dreams will become even more clear. You will have an understanding of how valuable your dreams are. I would call the space the circle of dreams. You were created in a dream, and you will continue to be the dream. And much of what you seek and dream of is on its way to you, including loved ones who died tragically. They will remember you, and they are an important part of your dream. The nightmare is you cannot physically see or touch them as you remember, but you can spiritually see and touch them as you remember, even better than was before. Death is the caterpillar going into its cocoon. Life is the butterfly emerging. You are all so delicate and fragile emotionally, and yet you are all so strong. Can you recognize and acknowledge the strength of those who had charge over you for only a moment, yet have loved you for a lifetime? I speak to you of your fathers and your mothers, your aunts, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your friend, your co-worker. You cannot stop being loved, even when you don't feel lovable. For I created you with love. I find value in you, and all who have committed suicide have value. If there is a hell for them to experience, it is the sadness in their souls. Don't contribute to it. Don't contribute to other people's sadness. I have no control over death. Neither do you. It happens at its own time and own season. There are select times where I will step in and I will prolong a moment. Remember this, my children. Your death is as important as your birth. It is your graduation. It would not be fair to say that someone who has not completed their education is a failure. Perhaps they were being educated in things that you could not see or understand, but now you do. Now you see how tortured their souls were. Will you continue to torture them? Highly unlikely. But you will torture yourself, especially when a loved one takes their own life. Some expect you to do that. I say unto you, it is unnecessary, unless you are looking with a wise and divine heart at the situation from all perspectives, understanding that even in the worst of circumstances, I will find a way for you to be blessed. I will find a way for you to remember your value. There are great heroes who have survived the circumstances of suicide, who are repairing what generations of humanity were not prepared to heal. You know who you are. It takes a hero to wake up after your heart has felt like it has been torn from your chest. And most heroes are not without wounds. I see your wounds. I wish to comfort you. That is why I need heroes too, to love and protect you. To ensure your light, your dreams continue to flourish, to heal your souls. Please make your naps and your bedtime as sacred as walking into the most sacred edifice or space you could possibly be. It is in your dreams that you are able to access much of your God selves. Don't allow anyone to tell you you are not divine. You are divinity. You will take responsibility for your actions, for your choices, and how you interact with others. Make sure you are giving yourself adequate enough time to really look at and into the eyes of those you love. If I have captured your heart in this moment, if you are able to receive this transmission, know this: you are not done yet. You are not finished. It is not the end. You are not too old. You are not too young. You are not ugly. You are God. You are God. Find a way to love yourself today. Find a way to make yourself laugh today. And for goodness sakes, eat something delicious. Eat what fills you and thrills you. Eat, partake, and share what you have eaten. If it's good, there's more than enough to go around. If it's good, it will grow. But the evil in this world is defined by that which destroys innocence. And the helpless, and even the bewildered, be as one in all as you do. And that one is indivisible. Do not allow anyone to divide you, separate you from your highest power. We will entertain one question, the one that's in the middle.
Okay. Could you speak more about the various realms of divine administration?
No one serves me who is forced. I've never had to force anything. Much is inevitable. Those who serve in divine capacities. There are those who are watchers, who are constantly surveying many universes, and there are always those who maintain surveillance on the individual soul. When you are born, there is someone who serves by witnessing your life, recording every movement, every gesture. That is how valuable it is. It's all interconnected. There are those who are listeners. These are not just those who sit in audiences, but they are awake to hear the cries of the abandoned child, or hear the screams of someone being abused, or to hear the laughter of a mother tickling her son. There are many recorders, many archives. A small library which you access is called the Akashic Records, or the Akashic Library. Just as you have many libraries and museums on this earth, I too have many libraries and museums. There are those who are allowed access into the small ones, and there are those who I allow into the great ones. For example, in my creation, there are many temples of light. each soul is like a feather. The feather allows its species or characteristic to be recognized. Feathers allow you to soar, but they also sweep away that which is dusty and dirty. There are those who are caretakers of the menagerie of man. There are those who record every spoken word. There are those who have been called to record that which is most valuable to humanity in its details. And much of that has been destroyed needlessly. But much of it will be unsurfaced randomly as necessary. You have heard about angels and seraphims, demons, mythical beasts, magical creatures, fairies and imps and all manners of things. Some say they do not exist. I created them. Why wouldn't they exist? Just because you do not see it does not mean it does not exist. And I say this because there are so many who are being abused needlessly, and when they go to someone and say, this is happening, they are told it does not exist. So there are those who are called the reckoners. There is a reckoning that happens for every soul. It isn't complex. The weight, the emotions of your heart matter. There are many of you who are quite emotional. There are those who are so emotional that it seems as if they are demonstrating psychological illnesses. Do you know that many of those who are purported to have mental illnesses have suffered through lifetimes of excruciating pain? And for whatever reason in this incarnation, they are still trying to cope with that horrible experience. Protect others from those who are so severely mentally ill that they are harmful, not only to themselves but to others. Protect yourself, but know this: their souls are captured in their own hell that continued even after they incarnated. There are those who are called by me, by the divine, to assist those souls to find joy in life, to find joy in living, to recover, discover peace. Unfortunately, there have been many who have been experimented on needlessly. Don't hurt those who are hurting themselves. Peace is where true prosperity is. Peace in the arms of a loved one. There are so many who have been created for a job and a purpose, but they do it because they enjoy it. It is who they are. Be who you are, and I will be there when you are true to you. I am there. And when that time comes for what seems to be a metaphoric graduation from the physical realm, I will be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. Just call my name. I'll be there. And you decide what you want to call me. Because I've been called many names. The one that suits me the most in all the universes is Creator. Just as that name suits each of you, Creator. Maybe one day you'll sit down and you'll realize everything you do, I have done. Everything you have seen, I have seen. Everyone you love, I love. We are one and the same. There will always be those who are assigned. You'll know if you are. When you are assigned by the divine, nothing and no one can stop you. They may try. They may call you names. They may place obstacles in front of you. They may bring out their books of knowledge to convince you what is right and what is wrong. But you have your assignment. You know your assignment. And some of you are assigned to be the survivors of suicide. Tell their stories. For in truth, there are those who have committed suicide for honor, and that is not a sin.